I only have 84,000 questions.
Well, we only have one answer, so give us your...
Okay, great. I've heard you speak often about sexuality, and one of several questions is, where do gay relationships, gay love, gay sex fit into broader perspective, the whole scheme of things?
Well, that subject fits in just like every other subject, that you are the creator of your reality. And in other words, we're going to come fully around all of this, but we want to say as a basis of this that humans, through time, in their not conscious alignment with who they are often looking for someone to establish a set of rules that they can follow in their desire to be righteous or good. And that set of rules does not exist from a non-physical perspective. In other words, there is not a set of rules. You have not been sent here into this physical environment to identify the rules and to keep them. And it's good for you that that isn't the case, because you have a real scrambled set of rules going on your planet right now. In fact, you are killing each other in record numbers today over your argument about who's got the right set of rules. When what you came forth understanding is that you are pure positive energy, and you came forth into this physical environment wanting the variety to cause you to give birth to desires, and you knew that your joy was only dependent upon your coming into alignment. You knew that your fulfilling of your reason for being was only dependent upon you coming into alignment with who you really are. So you may have noticed that there are many beings coming forth in the last generation or two, and even more in these powerful days, of energies coming forth from source who are in a stronger way determined to be unconformable. Because so much of the world says, I see that condition and it makes me feel pretty good, so I would vote for a lot more of that. And I see that condition and I don't like the way I feel, so I would not vote for that. So we need to change all of these conditions to be what make me feel good, so that I can feel better. A very conditional love that is impossible. Unconditional love says, I see conditions that I prefer and conditions that I don't prefer, and my feeling of love, my feeling of alignment, my alignment itself is dependent only upon the direction of my thoughts. I do not need to control conditions in order to come into alignment. But of course, everyone wants to feel better, don't they?
Right.
So there are huge numbers of people on the planet today who, even though many of them are speaking unconditional love, they don't understand it at all, because they're still trying to change this condition and this condition so that they can have a better feeling response to it. You know you've really reached the place of being an allower when you're able to allow those who aren't allowing you. So there are people coming forth, energies coming forth into human form in record number, who come with this determination to be unconformable, meaning that no matter how much you need this condition to change so that you can feel better, this is not a condition that's going to change so that you can feel better. So if you're going to feel better, you're going to have to change the way you are looking at things, because I'm not going to be the reason that you feel better. So children are coming forth gay, children are coming forth autistic, children are coming forth with all kinds of what humans want to call maladies that we call determination to be secure in their teaching of unconditional love. A man said to us one day years ago, Abraham, why would I come forth intending to be gay? Why would I bring all of this grief to myself? My mother hates me, my father hates me, I have a hard time. And we said, how do you feel about your mother? And he said, I hate her too. I hate her because she hates me. And we said, so neither one of you are coming into alignment with who you are, and you're using each other as your excuse why not to come into alignment, when what you've come forth to teach is alignment anyway. What you come forth to teach is, I can align with the source within me regardless of what those outside of me are reflecting back to me. And this is the most significant thing about this. almost everyone, even those who've been listening to us for a while, cannot separate how they feel about things from how other people feel about things. So most people, in other words, almost the first thing you do with your children is you teach them patterns of behavior that make your life better, or that you think will make them have an easier time in the society in which they will live. And as you convince your children that they should do what you want them to do, you should do what makes them feel better rather than what closes their gap for them, in early ages you teach them to listen outside of themselves. We have a room full of people in every city that we visit who are accustomed to listening more to what's coming from another person. In other words, approval is so meaningful to you when it comes from other people, and disapproval is so meaningful to you when it comes from other people. And we want that disapproval or approval that comes from other people, even if it's your mother, to not matter to you as much as the way you feel. And that's what we said to this man. That's what you've come forth to teach. You've come forth to teach. Because when you say to your child, you need to do such and such so that I will feel better, then you set them up to listen to another and another and another until before long, most everybody is more interested in what everybody else thinks. And then they've lost track of their ability to quantify their journey. We were visiting with a woman one day who had pain in her body, and she said, Abraham, how can I think positive thoughts when my body hurts so much? And we said, we know what you're living is what is. But there's a difference between having pain in your body and feeling fear, and having pain in your body and feeling hope. And the difference between fear and hope is the vibrational difference between recovery or not. In other words, we were trying to teach her how to quantify the journey between sickness and wellness, how to feel her way, you see. Where most people aren't encouraging anybody to feel their way into vibrational alignment in order to have a better life. They're trying to teach them, they're trying to motivate them to respond to this rule and to respond to this law and respond to this disapproval or this approval. So it is rampant in this civilization today. It is rampant. Almost nobody is listening to their own guidance. Almost nobody is deliberately closing their gap. Almost everybody cares what somebody else says or thinks about what they're doing. And so many people are coming forth saying, well, try this one on. Because this is an orientation that was set forth before I came forth into this physical experience, and I can't change it even if you want me to, you see. And so there are all kinds of ornery little buggers being born. And we don't mean that from our point of view. We mean pioneers of deliberate, powerful creation, teachers to the core of their being. But they're being greeted by those who are immediately slapping labels on them like, oh, there are so many. Like non-conformist with lots of different labels, uncontrollable. You have this disorder and this disorder and this disorder and this disorder. And we say, yay for the disorders. All of these disorders coming forth, the non-conformists coming forth to teach unconditional love, you see. And so it is so delightful when you are able to assist someone. It's a great gift you give to someone when you say, well, this is what is, and I'm not going to change it so that you can feel better. This is what is. And it's a hard thing to do because you want them to be happy. So when Kate wants to come to see Esther, and Esther really wants Kate to come, but Esther's got a big, long list of things that she needs to do. So Esther says, be better if we don't do it today. And Esther hears the disappointment in Kate's voice. It's hard for Esther not to change something to make Kate feel better. Because Esther would run over herself with the bus if she thought it would make Kate feel better. But we want Esther to let Kate work it out on her own. And she would, every time. She'd be upset for a minute, but it's her nature to feel good, so she wouldn't be upset for very long. But this is a bigger issue. You can't change gayness to please another.
Right.
And so what a gift of unconditional love you bring with that. You say, here I am. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. Be unhappy with me as I be, or be happy with me as I be. But I be as I be. This is my gift to you, you see.